Hello friends, and welcome to another studio vlog in which we are going to start getting things done. I have a really bad habit of coming up with all of these ideas for patterns or products for my Etsy shop, and I'll go through the whole planning process. I'll know what I want it to look like. I will search out all the things I need to buy for it, pick out the right ones. I'll even go through the whole design process of the pattern and like all of that. And then once all that's done, I just stop and I don't move forward with it. And I really want and need to change that. So I'm hoping that maybe if I start documenting these as vlogs, that maybe it'll give me some more motivation to get these things done. So case in point, like all of these things that I'm going to be working on in the next few vlogs are things that I did all of those things for last year. Like they're not even new ones that I've just come up with. It's all from throughout last year. Okay. So the first one we're going to start with are these, let me get it, these pretty little floral letters. I designed this whole alphabet last year, which I should be able to use for several different things, but specifically in this vlog, I want to use them to make initial keychains. So I've also bought, again, I bought supplies for it, these pretty little silver square bezels that I want to use to make key rings out of. But I actually have to make them. Surprise, right? That would make sense. So yesterday I tried to use that sheet that I just showed you and my tracing board to just trace it onto the fabric, but the fabric I'm using is linen and it's very textured and it's a lot darker, and the lines of the letters are really thin, so I couldn't see it to trace on there by hand. So I'm gonna have to use my Cricut to draw it onto the fabric. So the majority of today I think is gonna be me making the Cricut files that I need to draw it onto the fabric, and then I'll get it hooped up and we'll start the stitching tomorrow.
To an accompaniment of Berlioz, the door opened.
Alright, it's been about a week probably since I last spoke with you. I'm still not done with stitching. I always forget how difficult and awkward it is for me to stitch in the roller bar frame, but it's the only one I have big enough to really use for how I have it set up right now. So for now, this is what we have. I don't know, you probably saw when I was doing the Cricut how the fabric kept bunching up and had to keep starting over and all that. It was doing that at the top, and I taped it down, and then it was fine. But I forgot to do the bottom. And so it did it at the end, and I didn't want to start all the way over again. So I'm going to stitch the letters that came out good, and then I'll cut off the ones that didn't. We're still working, but it's been a week since I talked to you, so I thought I would at least give an update while we're here. I don't know if it's coming off on camera, but I got sunburned because my nose is super red and the top of my forehead and my part. My part always gets burnt. Always. Because I went home this past weekend, and so I was outside a lot for the first time in 6 months. So, of course, I got burnt. Got a haircut. Good tell. Since I don't really have any updates other than I'm still stitching on them, thought we'd have a little book chat, just a quick one. So if you saw, I was listening to Piranesi last time I checked in with you, and I have finished this one, and I thought I was going to absolutely love it before I started reading it. Truthfully, I didn't really like it until the last few chapters. The last few chapters got me. Poor, sweet, pure-hearted Piranesi. It got me. He did. I loved the ending, although I could take or leave the rest of the book, honestly. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be. I'm not really sure what I expected it to be, but it wasn't this. I do like that it's an epistolary, which it's one of my favorite formats to read in letters and diary entries and stuff like that. So I really liked that part. Anyway, the ending did get me. I did enjoy the ending, but that was about it. And this whole month, I've basically been reading whatever the library tells me to read, because there was one book this month that I really, really just wanted to read, and I still have not read it. Because the library my holds kept coming through, so I kept having to read the library books when they became available. So I am currently listening to the last of my library holds. I don't have any more waiting for me right now. But the one I'm currently reading is A Tempest of Tea, I think is what it's called, by Hafsah Faizal, I think. I'm really enjoying it. It's fantasy, but not like fantasy. It's more of a crime crew, like heist with like some vampires thrown in and a magical weapon. So there is some fantasy, but it's not like fantasy. And it's a lot of fun. I'm really liking it. It is a YA, which is more often than not a miss for me, but I think this one's going to be a hit because I am really enjoying it. So there's that. And then as soon as I finish this one, I will, which probably be today or tomorrow, I will start on What Big Teeth, which is the one book I really wanted to read this month.
And now here she was, with her own mostly undone. The girl said something else, but Matteo shook his head, and she turned with a screech before stomping out of the parlour. A little warning would have been appreciated, old boy, he said, voice low. He was a lot younger than Flick thought he'd be.
was sorry. It didn't seem sorry to me. She was upset, I could tell. I could not bear to hear anyone speak to you like that, telling you that you do not belong, that you are the one who is wrong, when he himself is... She shuddered, and a ripple ran under the skin of her neck, as though some other shape swam.
Alright, so I finally finished stitching all of the letters. It took me, I think, about 3 weeks. I think it's probably been like another week since I last talked to you, I think. But the letters are stitched, and even though this feels really, really weird for me, I'm gonna go ahead and close out this vlog and then immediately start the next one to continue on with this project. I don't think I have ever ended a video that wasn't complete. Like, I've never ended a video in which I didn't finish the book that I was reading or finished making the project I was on. But this one I have both. I'm technically in the middle of reading a book and I'm not even close to being done with this project. But I'm gonna try something new in which I'm just doing continuous vlogs, even if it's not a complete project, and just continue on like that. So as soon as I end you, I'm going to start the next one and continue on where we are. So hopefully you'll enjoy this kind of video from me, but we'll reevaluate if it doesn't work out. But since it's taken me 3 weeks to get you this one video, if I waited to finish this whole project, it would probably be a good 3 months. So, as always, I thank you so much for being here, and I hope that means I see you soon.